bad food and deteriorating building had once felt like a genetic disease they were dreading. But after their gran most terrifying fall 3 weeks ago, one of them had brought up buying the bar and building now, taking Loretta's over to give their grandmother the retirement she couldn't afford, and the financial support she wouldn't accept any other way. Alex couldn't remember who'd suggested it, but the idea had caught momentum fast. She talked more to her sisters in the last 3 weeks than she had in 13 years. What she hadn't told them in the flood of early morning texts and late night phone calls, and what was pretty fucking urgent after last night's showdown, was that the best bitch in bartending was going to dismantle and rebuild Loretta's to show the world just how good she was. Esquire had coined Alex the best bitch in bartending 2 years ago, after a reporter had shown up at the Fantasy Box, the most exclusive speakeasy in Chicago, for an article on the best and worst bartenders in the U.S. She'd heard Alex Torres was both. But the quality of Alex's drinks, the fact that she led the movement connecting Midwesterners with mezcal, the carefully curated abuse she heaped on patrons and her rabid social media followers, and her innate bad girl aesthetic, spiky black hair, the tattooed right arm sleeve of vibrant flowers, the tight jeans she wore over her full sweetheart of an ass, led the reporter to devote a multi-page spread to her. Her bosses had hung the article above the bar. They would have had it tattooed on her forehead if they could have. But the article hadn't prevented them from promoting that asshole Randy over her. Randy, who'd only bartended the Sunday-Wednesday shifts, lorded his restaurant management degree over everybody, had gone and done what the entire staff had worried about when he'd become manager, and created a drink menu that was too long, with too many specialty ingredients that took too much fucking time to make at the height of the rush. Alex had swallowed her rage until last night. Last night, she'd had it. If the number of notifications on her social media feeds were any indication, people's phones had caught her clapping back. There was shit even the best bitch in bartending couldn't get away with. Now she was exiled to the void of Southeast Kansas, in a town she never wanted to spend more than an occasional weekend or holiday in, betting it all on a bar that hadn't been profitable since flip phones, knowing she'd have to make her sisters and mother and grandmother get out of her way if they didn't fall in line. Alex rubbed the shorn black hair at the back of her head. She needed a drink. Thunder rumbled as she took one step in the dark bar and heard a creak behind her. Every hair on her body stood up. But she'd spent too much time in Chicago kicking the ass of regular old scary things to stop her instinctive response now. She whipped around, grabbed the hand shining a weak flashlight into her face, yanked it toward her as she straight-armed a man's throat, and used the momentum with her stuck-out leg to whip the body, a man's tall, big body, to the floor. The flashlight and something else clattered to the ground. The light rolled and directed the weak beam on his face. Floppy brown hair, wide-set eyes. A deadly ski jump of a nose, thin lips open in shock. He was a big, noticeable stranger in a town where, even after 13 years of only occasional visits, she still knew everybody. He was propped up haphazardly on her bags. The warmth of his body was like a heater. She kept her grip on his throat, kept his hand pulled away from his body so he had one less weapon. "Who are you?" she barked. You handle encounters with muggers and bears the same way. Growl louder. He gaped at her. You're not a ghost." She didn't give him an inch, even though